Thank you. They gave me a head mic. So welcome to 20 minutes of me not quite believing that marketing let me sign off this title. Thank you, Kat and Joe. And what am I going to talk to you about today? Well, 3 of my favorite things, and I'm going to over-index on 2 of them. You can decide which 2. I'm Julie Austin, so I am Chief Commerce Officer at VML, WPP Enterprise Solutions. And what does that mean? Well, I spend an awful lot of my time talking in pretty much 2 tracks in commerce at the moment, social commerce and agentic commerce. Why? Because they are 2 new, exciting, interesting routes for brands to reach new consumers. And agentic's where we're going to focus today, of course. What else would we talk about at a conference? So the shelf collapsed. We've gone from 200 to 500 store shelf items. We then expanded that to 100,000 digital shelf items. And now we're at 1 to 5. In the 10, 15 years of commerce that I've had the pleasure of being, and this is the first time an innovation in commerce has really made the shelf smaller and not bigger. And actually, we're all really struggling and frantically paddling on how do we deal with that. And like everything, LinkedIn has an awful lot to say about what's happening in agentic commerce. Some of it qualified, some of it brands, some of it bullshit. And we're going to talk about those top 10 today and really kind of try and quantify what to listen to and what to not. Because unless we're talking about it, we're not evolving together. So I get my dream head mic. I get to play J Middle Miss for 20 minutes. So let's count down the top 10 agentic commerce. As we play, VML presents Top of the Pops, but let's make it agentic. So, at number 10, AI will replace human creativity. And what does LinkedIn have to say about that? Maria, Chief AI Evangelist, has a lot to say. And actually, will AI replace human creativity? I find this an interesting question. We keep talking about it as if they're 2 entirely separate things. But AI is probably the biggest snapshot of humanity that we've ever yet seen. Think about where it's citing. 40% of AI shopping answers cite Reddit, the most gloriously human and inhuman part of the internet. AI leans on Reddit, Wikipedia, YouTube, all of it made for people in their bedrooms for free. So it doesn't replace human creativity, it shops for it. Sorry, Maria. And what's your homework in this space? Have you checked? How's your brand showing up? What does ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity have to say about you? You'll learn a lot, and some of it will sting. We're doing audits on our stand over at the WPP Enterprise Solutions. The best scores are getting 3 out of 5, and that's a great base to start from. Earn your mentions where the machine actually reads and make your most human assets, your founder stories, the ones that are easy to quote. Do one before you leave the building. In at number 9. The funnel is dead. So I'm going to say hot take on a stage, but Joss said it, so I think it's fine. It is never, ever a hot take that the funnel is dead. How many times, for those of us that have been around this a lot, we've talked about the death of the funnel, the collapse of the funnel, the fun at being an infinite loop. What's the funnel doing now? The funnel's not dead. Linear journeys are dead. They no longer exist. And brands that don't adapt will be left for dead. Because it's moved house. It didn't leave a forwarding address, but the agent is now building its own. And then in the next 12 to 24 months, it's going to be building it even faster. So what do you do in this space? Well, go and learn the agent shape. What does it retrieve on, shortlist on, compare on? Win the 2 that count the most. Retrievable, structured data. That is the drumbeat that we're all talking about as we go through. Common sense, housekeeping. And win the compare. Your price, your specs, and your proof impossible to misread. Retrieved, shortlist, chosen in that order. In at number 8, content is king. Have to remember to stop before it gets to the song. Isabel's quoting Bill Gates, 1996 in 2026, and that's okay. He's relevant for any era. Volume plus consistency plus value. The brands that publish most will win. Word up indeed. And it's true, right? Content will always be king. But the crown does not fit every court. YouTube pulls around 16% of AI citations. TikTok and Instagram still less than 1%. You're not writing for one judge anymore. You're writing for different courts that need different rules and different crowns. Content is king, but every court rules differently. So write for the engine that feeds you, not the feed that flatters you. And what do you need to do? Look at that. Open web for chat agents, product page and reviews for retailer agents. They're looking and citing different sources. Find out what engines are judging your category. Lead with YouTube and community. That's where the build's happening. Publish for the judge and not for the feed. In at number 7, authentic brand storytelling is everything. I didn't need to leave it for that long, but I just really wanted to. Matty is a storyteller. We can see that from his post. It says so right there under his name. Consumers can smell inauthenticity from a mile away. It's not a strategy, it's a requirement. Thank you, Matty. But here's the plot twist. 83% of Amazon's AI off-page citations come from earned media and review sites, not the beautifully directed art brand book that you've invested all of your PR cash in. PR is back, baby, and it really, really is, but it has changed. The review bot now reads your reviews, not your brand book, and you need to be building for that. Authenticity is not a vibe anymore, it's a citation that needs to be verified. So fund PR like it's back. Move earned media out of awareness and into performance, because that is the job that it's doing now. Can't iterate enough. Build a proper reviews engine. Once more for those at the back, build a proper reviews engine. There are a few areas of building for the bot as we move in Agentic that the human wants and the bot wants, and reviews are one of them. So build it and they will come and they will buy. In it, whatever that number was, because I forgot to read it, meet customers where they are. So Erica's a community builder. She wants you to be everywhere. Instagram, TikTok, WhatsApp, Roblox, Be Real, hashtag always on. Erica's not slept for years. And you want to be with her everywhere. But everywhere is not a strategy anymore. We've gone from omni-channel, and then we've talked about opti-channel. And now really, being everywhere is a budget bonfire with a hashtag attached to it. 43% of US AI assistants are already buying beauty. And why do I say that? Because actually category matters. What's your category doing and how do you prioritize? These categories are going through agents first, so low consideration, high repeat, subscription. They're already at the coalface. Don't be everywhere, be where your agents that are relevant are already shopping. Presence is cheap now or not, but positioning is the entire game. So where to win? How do you chart next week? Don't spread it too thin. Rank categories by how fast the agents are moving with them and lead on the quickest. Definitely watch, even if you're not in the space, beauty, personal care, CPG, they are the canary, but whatever's happening to them is heading your way. And put the money where the agents already are. The LLMs are learning on data that's there today. If your data's not there, it's not learning with you or growing with you. Concentrate. And number 5, halfway through, personalization at scale is the future. Now, I just wanted Fleetwood Mac twice, because I actually don't think it's little lies. Hans was a CMO, a board advisor. He's cracked personalization at scale. How many times have we all heard that? How many conferences have we been to where we talked about personalization before we had Agentic to talk about? One-to-one for age of everyone. The age of mass marketing is over. But the future's already checked in, and this is where I think personalization is exciting as we look forward. It feels like Agentic might crack it. 59% of shoppers are using AI in their journey. So how they're turning up now to your D2C, to your website, is really, really different. Search volume and search terms have extended 2 to 3 times what they once were. So your shoppers are turning up qualified. Trying to push them down a homepage to PLP to PDP funnel isn't what the future looks like anymore. They arrive decided. Your job now is to assemble the page around them. So stop selling and start answering. I really think generative UI is the future on where we're going and how exciting it is as we look forward. Treat the page as something that's assembling around their question because they're turning up qualified and they're telling you what they're already interested in. Specs, comparisons, objections, all the way up at the top and on your biggest pages. Measure decision speed. Nobody wants to dwell anymore. They're here and they're qualified and they want to decide. In at number 4, my favorite, thrilled to announce we're now AI first.
Thank you for coming home.
Okay. Cos, CEO, LinkedIn, listed in Forbes 30 under 30, I imagine, and he will tell you. AI first across every touch point. What does that mean? Well, in the actual world, shoppers are using AI. We know it's really important, and we'll talk about that when we get to number 3. But we have to remember, AI is the engine, it's not the car. The point should be, what are you trying to solve, and how does AI help you get on that journey? AI shouldn't be the catalyst of all the conversations. It should be the tools that you're implementing to help you get there faster. So start with the destination, not the tech if you want to chart next week. Get on the shortlist, convert, then invest, and then look at where AI can help you move faster. Ship the outcome and let it do the talking. So LinkedIn at number 3, we've stood up an AI task force. Robin's a strategy consultant, TEDx speaker, naturally. Robin wants you to think like a platform. Ecosystems, network effects, flywheels, stop selling products, start selling movements. Well, here's what MIT found, and it's actually really brutal. 95% of enterprise Gen I pilots deliver no measurable return, at least for the first 3 cycles. The barrier isn't in the technology, and we see this all the time. It's in the organizational structure, being ready to receive it and grow with it. 90% of employees use AI every day. How many tools are you providing for your employees to use your tools with your mandate as you walk forward? 40% of companies have actually given them the tools. They're working on it in their lunch break. So how are you setting up your organization to really make it thrive? Readiness isn't a task force or a tool. It fails in the organization and not in the lab. So how do we chart next week? How do we get up from number 3? It's 3 things. Pick one real workflow and build AI right into it, not bolted on the side. Hand it to your line managers and measure the P&L, not just the licenses or the tokens. That's a conversation for another day that you bought. And close that shadow AI gap because your people are already using it. Give them the sanction tools first and the direction in where you're wanting to go. One workflow done properly beats 10 pilots, and we're seeing that all the time across all of the agentic life force. In at number 2, the human touch has never mattered more. Hayek is a chief people officer and a humanist. In a world of AI and automation, the human touch has never mattered more. People buy from people, connection over conversion, relationship over revenue, all points I hugely, hugely agree with. But agentic commerce is heading for 3 to 5 trillion by 2030. 71% of consumers expect AI to shape at least half of what they spend within 12 months. How often do we as marketeers actually get to sell things to people that they actually want? What a delight. But that's where she gets it wrong. She thinks the human touch is the warm, fuzzy alternative to the cold machine. But it isn't. The human touch is kind of the point. It's what the algorithm is built on. Brand love, word of mouth, reviews are the exact signals which are the human signals. So how do we build it? If the human touch is the input, you need to fund it like one. There are 5 signals that the AI is training on across basically all models. Product truth, proof, reviews, authority, preference. Truth, proof, reviews, authority, preference. Build for them. That's built on humans and grows. One purpose, but not by accident. So what's in at number 1? Design for humans and build for bots. And spoiler alert, there is no post about this yet, because we are all racing forward. We don't know what's going to win, but we know we need to be charting, demoing, working in the recording studio to figure it out and be in. This isn't a straight in at number 1 entry. This is a slow climber as the charts go by. And how do we build that? Well, we talk a lot about design for humans, build for bots. 2 rails, both equally important. One is delight the human, brand story, reviews, culture. People need brands they are going to fall in love with and remember, and that's never been more important. But rail 2 is your housekeeping and building for the bot. Structured data, agent-ready PDPs, earned citations, equally important, simultaneously required, no shortcut, no support act. That's how you show up. And what do you do here? Well, the number 1 move is the simplest one, really. You pick one product line and you start. You look where your products are trending and you start. Run both rails at once. Delight the human, build for the bot. What are your dual strategies that you're going to show up with? And then measure the only number that matters now. Are you in that 5 products, or are you in the other 99,995? Because if you can't be discovered, you can't be found. And build underneath that. Everyone can sell you on rail. You need to build for both, and actually build partnerships that can build for both, because actually prioritization, one of the things we're all the worst at, is never going to be more important as we look forward. And we talk a lot about theories, we talk a lot about structure, we talk a lot about kind of where it's going, but the results are already real, and we work with our clients across the entire gamut of agentic, from SDLC and engineering through to what that looks like in creativity. And there's proof, not a manifesto, not a promise, but actual results. What are we seeing? Well, from an Alexa perspective on Amazon, structuring your data in a different way to read for it. Alexa has learned quick and is learning quicker every day. Samsung, 77 product page, rewritten to agent-ready standards, content only, no new photography, just schema and structure change. And we saw an increase in conversion of 87%, an increase in sales of 84%. Look with a different set of eyes. And that goes all the way back to engineering, the build itself, an agentic software lifecycle for Halfords on a Salesforce migration, reusable prompt schema, structured in and out, compounding, sprint on sprint. QA increased from 12% in one sprint to 56% by sprint 4. It's important you're building towards it, but 110% of scope delivered in 9 weeks, not 12. Think about how Agentic can help along the entire life cycle of what you're doing. So what does that mean as we look back? Let's climb the chart. So let's do our 10. In at 10, earn your mentions where AI looks. In at 9, map and win, the agent funnel. Straight in at 8, the content playbook. Make sure you're there. 7, PR is back, baby. Fund it, but measure it accordingly. In at 6, prioritize by sector. You can't do everything all at once. Prioritize where it's going to matter the most. Straight in at number 5, holding from last week, is make the page generative. The most exciting innovation in Agentic. We're going to be talking about it for a long time. 4, AI's the engine, not the car. Help it get you there faster, but don't make it the journey destination. And in at 3, fix the org, not the tooling. In at number 2, holding fast from last week, fund the human signals AI runs on. And straight in at number 1, do not wait for number 1 to land. Start charting now. Both rails, one product line. I got to do a Top of the Pops top 10. So let me leave you with where we started. The shell collapsed. 100,000 products, 5 came in. The shortlist that decided those 5, it is being trained right now on your data. And if you've done nothing, it's silence. They can't find you. So here's the last word, and it actually isn't mine. It's the one myth that turned out to be true. As many of conferences that we go to when we talk about the human touch, it isn't just a theme. It is the most powerful commercial signal you have in an agentic world. And the brands that are winning are not choosing between humans and bots. They are building both. Design for humans, build for bots. Now, go and get yourself on the shortlist. Thank you. You have been delightful.